Today I'm going to show you how to complete your abstract painting. Let's get started. Today we're going to continue with our abstract artwork. We are going to take our abstract notes and the sketch that we made, and we are going to transfer it onto a good painting paper so that way we can paint it. Okay, so you're going to take your sketch and you're going to draw it bigger onto the good painting paper. Okay. Once you're done sketching it onto your good paper, we're going to get ready to paint. When we start to paint, you need your painting messy mat, and on your messy mat it's going to tell you everything you need to know about painting. Please treat my ballerina brushes nicely and softly. Paint only goes on the tippy toes. When you're cleaning your brush, you're going to rinse your brush in the water and gently dry it onto the sponge. And today we're painting with watercolor, so you're just going to have to follow these 3 steps. So it's basically rinse your brush in water, pick the color, go in circles with your brush, and then paint. Okay, so here goes your water station. Okay, water and a sponge, and your watercolors. Okay, so make sure that your good painting paper is on top of your messy mat so that way we don't get the tables dirty. And you are going to focus on the background today. Okay, we're only going to paint the background using the watercolors. Okay, to get started with your watercolors, just get a little bit of water and put it onto each of the colors just to get them ready to paint. Okay, now I'm going to show you a couple of different techniques when painting with watercolor. Okay, the first one I'm going to show you is just straightforward painting. Okay, you're just going to wash your brush, dry it, and pick up some paint on your brush. And remember, when you pick up some paint, just go in circles. Okay, and you can start painting straightforward. That's one way of just using your watercolors, which is just painting it with it directly. Okay, wash your brush, dry it, and you're ready for the next color. Now the other one that I'm going to show you is called wet on wet. Okay, so when you do wet on wet, you have to wet the paper a little bit and then you can bring your paint onto that part of the paper. So first I'm just going to get some water on my brush. I'm just going to wet the paper. Okay, now that the paper is wet, I can add my paint to that part of the paper. I can also add a different color on top of the wet section. And I can blend it in. Once you're done with the background, we're gonna let it dry so that way next week we can paint again with acrylic paint. So make sure you wash your brush into the water, dry it. With your watercolor palette, you are going to get paper towels and clean up any water spillage and dry up any of the paint that is wet. So with a paper towel, just dry up any of the paint that might have fallen out. Okay. And that's it. Don't touch the paint. Don't dry that up. Just close it up. And we'll be ready to go next week. Great job. You're going to need your abstract painting, your messy mat, a paintbrush, your water and paint station, and for mixing colors, you're gonna need a palette, and you're gonna need paper towels. So the first thing you're gonna do is you wanna concentrate on the larger shapes of color. Okay, so looking at my sketch, I can see what are the larger shapes of color that I need to paint, and I'm gonna do that. Again, the first technique that I'm gonna show you is just painting directly with the color. Okay, if your paintbrush is dry, you can go straight to getting the paint and control your paintbrush and start painting. Once you're done using that color, go ahead and wash it into the water. Try to dry it out on the side. Use your paper towel to really dry your brush before getting a new color. Okay. Again, continue with the larger shapes of color for your abstract painting. Now, if you want to mix colors, you can mix colors. The only thing is you're going to have to mix colors on your palette. You always want to pick the lighter color first. Let me demonstrate. So for these green shapes, I'm going to make it a little bit of a lighter green. Okay, so the way I want to do that is I want to get some white first, and I want to put it onto my palette. I kind of just scoop it up and bring some white onto my palette. You don't need to bring too much. Once you're done bringing it up, go ahead and wash your brush. Dry it. And now you want to bring in the second color, which is green, so I can make it a little bit lighter. So I'm just gonna scoop up a little bit of green and start mixing it. Okay, so you're gonna mix it onto your palette. Again, I'm controlling my brush. I'm making sure that there's not paint on the metal part. I'm controlling it onto the tippy toes. Once you're happy with the color, you can go ahead and paint those shapes. Okay, once you're done, go ahead and wash it. Dry it. And you can get your next color. Okay, now I recommend adding your texture lines to being the last thing that you paint, since they're a little bit more thinner. Okay. Once you're done with your painting, go ahead and wash your brush. Dry it. Set your brush on the dry side. Close your acrylic paint station. Put your palette to the side, and we will put this onto the drying rack for it to dry. Good job.